This is in dedication to the anniversary of the STS-107 disaster in 2003. A special thanks to Ilan Ramon, the only Jewish man to go into outer space and a defender of Israel. It is also to Kapla, also known as KC, at University of Texas Arlington, where I went. She has a memorial, and I believe that they were ritualistically murdered, and under the numbers 1307. Of course, this is a Knights Templar date. And the quick history lesson on the space shuttle. Ilan Ramon, in 1981, was called to duty to protect the state of Israel by taking out the nuclear facilities in Iraq. This is known as Operation Osiris, or also Operation Opera. So in 1981, on February 2nd, or around that date, the Ilan Ramon went into Iraq and protected Israel by taking out Iraq's nuclear facilities. Then, shortly after that, Columbia had its first maiden space shuttle flight, the first space shuttle to go into outer space at that time. And then fast forwarding to 2003, Space Shuttle Columbia goes up with Ilan Ramon in it, blows up, and then sure enough, America's going into Iraq for weapons of mass destruction. So you can see the equal and opposite reaction, or the polar shifts. It's also known as above, so below. For those in the occult, they know that that is as above in the heavens, so below in the earth. And that comes from Egyptian religion, based off of Osiris's belt, which is also laid out in the Great Pyramids. The three pyramids represent the belt of the stars in heaven. Anyway, so moving on, we have Ilan Ramon as a defender of Israel. But they did not stop there. The Knights Templars date is obviously Friday, October 13th, 1013, in the year 1307. So 1013 in the year 1307. In this particular case, his son was also, I believe, murdered in Israel. He was born on the 10th and died on the 13th. And so you see his son as the date and his father dying as the year. And on STS-107, that was the 113th flight. Or the 113th flight went up before STS-107. So STS-113 goes up before STS-107. So if you didn't catch the occult ritual in the actual space flight, and it's interesting that NASA actually took the STS numbers different from the actual shuttle numbers based off the stigma of the number 13 from Apollo 13. And of course, there was a problem with Apollo 13. Houston, we have a problem famous from that flight. And not only that, but it was also the seventh man moon flight. So even Apollo 13 was a seventh man moon flight, so they got 1307 in it. And then, of course, they placed all that occult ritual into the fourth horse of that insignia of STS, or of Apollo 13, and put it at Denver International Airport with the fourth member statue on the inside and the fourth horse on the outside. But that's a whole nother issue. I'm just saying that STS-113 is also the flight before STS-107. And STS-107 itself was actually the 113th flight. So I guess the stigma rings true. I guess every 13th flight actually eventually blows up. The Challenger actually eventually blew up, even though it didn't blow up on its 13th flight. It was the 13th Space Shuttle mission. And of course, Columbia, being STS-113 or STS-107, but was a 113th flight, also blew up. So the 13th flight, that space shuttle eventually blew up, and the 113th flight of the space shuttle did blow up on that mission. So right there, we can see that those rituals are in place. And Ban Ki-moon, the head of the United Nations, even was elected on Friday, October 13th in 2006. I'm certain they actually waited for that date so they could get the Knights Templar date in. There's another number, the 10th degree of York Rite Masonry is also the Knights Templar degree. So it gives you a question of who's actually running these rituals. I'm not sure if it's the Masons, but they have been infiltrated by a group that uses the Knights Templar's number. Of course, if you know the widow's son or Hiram Abiff, you understand that they actually believe in Christianity and God as the 10th, like the 10 laws of God or the 10 commandments. He represents 10 and he is absolute. And when people take those numbers out of context and kill people, they are doing it for a satanic reason, above or around or against God. Anyway, this is a dedication to STS-107 and its crew members. I, for one, thank Ilan Ramon for his service to Israel, and I hope this actually is honorable to his life and his son's memory. Thank you.